Okay, we're gonna go ahead and get started with our work session, and we have yours truly, Bill, was already there.
We got yours truly, Miss Cindy up here. Y'all saw on the agenda where we're renewing the contract with NACOG, our partnership. So, a lady who is a wealth of information, who has helped Amy and I along in this process so much, and she was willing to come and kind of share with y'all a little bit about the partnership. So I'm gonna let her take over and let her kind of give a brief overview.
Good afternoon, y'all. Glad to be here with you. Bill gave you a book, we call it our little blue book, and it has 3 business cards on it. You have mine, and you have our 2 ADRC ladies. In this book, it tells you everything that we do in the aging department. The things that you know more about is our senior center, which you have 2, which is why we're asking you to sign a contract, because we have 2 senior centers in Florence. One's at the club and one is at Magnolia Gardens. And the difference at Magnolia Gardens, because some people don't understand, is Magnolia is in, the senior center's in Mag 2. And those people in Mag 2, if they're 60 or if they're 30, they still can go down to the senior center and eat. Those in Mag 1 cannot. That's due to the Older Americans Act. It says that if a senior center is housed in a housing authority building, that anybody, even though they're not 60, can eat. So therefore, people in Mag 1, if they're not 60, they can't come and eat. I know that's a little confusing, don't sound quite fair, understand that, but that's not a NACOG regulation, that's the Older Americans Act, that what the aging department goes with. So just want to give you that clarification, because some people in Mag 1 will say, hey, I want to go eat. Well, you're not 60, you're not eligible to go eat because of that. You do have a lot of participation here in Florence, but we love having you, love them coming. They have a lot of activities going on, especially at the club. We're trying to get more going on. At Magnolia, we're doing bingo size right now at Magnolia. They just finished it right before Christmas, and I think they're going to start back after Christmas. Bingo size is something that we had to do with part of our contract with the Older Americans Act and with ADSS. They exercise and they play bingo. So who don't like to play bingo and win a prize? This way they do a little exercising and they get to do bingo. But we do a whole lot of other things besides just the senior centers. We have a legal that somebody they can call their house in Opelika, but they can call the 800 number and they can help them out with wills or power of attorneys or anything like that. Again, it's in this little blue book. We have the Medicaid waiver program, which is in this little blue book. Anything that you need to know about aging is in this little blue book. So I'm not going to waste your time. Anything that y'all need to know is in this little blue book. Or y'all can give me a call and I'll be glad to tell you anything else. Anything else you need me to talk?
Any questions or anything?
Anybody in the council have any questions for her?
It's in this little book.
You did good.
I just want to comment. I've known this girl, Cindy, as a child. Her mom, Corinne Campbell, was the longtime county administrator. She just passed away at 90, and we're really crazy about Cindy. She does a great job for NACOG.
Condolences, Cindy.
Again, I thank Cindy. She's, Amy and I were bombarded with questions, and she had an answer for everyone I know we're asking her the other day. So thank you again, Florence. We really appreciate the partnership. So with that being said, we would like to submit for council approval a contract services under Title III of the Older Americans Act of 1965 with NACOG regarding aid of seniors in the amount not to exceed $15,000.
And this is a renewal.
Yes, ma'am. Any questions on that?
Lots of good information, Bill, that you summed up, which why I didn't ask a lot of questions about how many meals you serve. And then Cindy, your information really was helpful too, so thank you both.
I'll read I was going to mention that we serve a total of 81 people at both locations. The club serves 39 daily lunches. Magnolia Gardens serves 34. lunches and 11 homebound lunches. Which I learned a lot about when Cindy came and talked to us about the other services they offer as far as the living wills, the attorney stuff. That was something new that I did not realize. So that little blue book is a wealth of information.
That's good. This is a good program as well.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Thank y'all. The next is item J, trying to keep up with that. Enter into a contract with Cold Waters. This is to provide irrigation assessment, and this will be assessment and repairs at River Heritage. This amount is $8,835.68. This will be for the new trail as well as some of the other areas along the trail.
So this has not been done before?
No, ma'am. Well, we do it every so often. So this will be 44 stations that are run by irrigation with this clock. All the equipment and labor will be provided by Cold Water. The wire tracing, Park and Rec doesn't have the equipment to perform that particular item. So that's why we have to get somebody to come in and do that. We are in the process of hiring an irrigation technician for permanently, which will help because we have irrigation throughout the facility. So that is going to help maybe to be able to just troubleshoot some stuff and maybe repair on our own.
So they'll come in, give us the assessment, and then we'll decide from there what of those items we want to add for irrigation for River Heritage Park.
This particular one, they've already done the assessment and they've told us what needs to be repaired, and they will go ahead with the repair. That's correct. Item K is we would like to enter into a contract with Irons Electric, and they will provide and install a 12250 volt 20 amp twist slot receptacle, which will be in the pump house at the Sportsplex. They're providing the ground wires and the rod, and also moving a wall outlet up for us. And this amount is $395. Item L is a contract with General Signs, and they will provide and install 2 aluminum panel signs at the Sportsplex. This is to add on to the signs that are currently there for the new pods and some directions for the new facilities. And the total amount equals $4,997. The next is a change order for Handy Recreation Center from Butler Construction. I think I sent the information. May have been a lot of information, but I tried to send pictures that I could. Ms. Simmons had been out there and seen, I think Mr. Oliver as well. We had an issue with water coming in the foundation, and the groundwater was penetrating the exterior walls and settling into the inside. So this proposal will include labor and materials to remove a portion of the existing concrete slab in the pool area and the existing north concrete wall, waterproof seal the existing wall below grade, install a perimeter foundation drain, backfill with gravel, and re-pour a concrete slab where the existing slab and wall was.
That's a lot of work.
Yes. You can't get any equipment in there because of the area that it's in. So the total cost of this change order is $30,276.85, and which will increase the contract to $1,201,276. $201,276, I apologize. Any questions about that?
Was that, I mean, how did we find out about it?
Would never have known if we didn't start taking out what was already there, and when they got down to the foundation, water started coming in. It happened on the other side as well. There just wasn't any coating put around the outside to prevent water from coming in there.
So it could have come in before, we just didn't know.
It very easily could have. So it's very good that we found it when we did, 100%.
It's probably okay if it's just concrete floors, concrete tiles. I mean, with the type tile that was in there for a bathroom and showers.
Correct.
But now that the building is being remodeled and there's gonna be different types of flooring in there, that moisture could damage the floor, so the way he explained it to me, if we didn't do it, we'd be tearing it all out again and having to redo it. It's a good thing it got caught.
Calvin made this recommendation, this was kind of the middle, there was to do nothing to do this part, and then there was to tear out the foundation, but that was would have been a very, very costly. So this will, as we did on the other side, prevent hopefully from water from coming in there. And y'all can see on the video, it was rolling through there.
This should be a good lesson for everyone who's remodeling a home or a building or whatever. You never know what you're gonna uncover when you start tearing stuff out, and it always leads to money.
Well, it goes back to, the rec center, that who would have known there was no insulation in the ceilings? And so, we remedied that problem. We're probably gonna save a ton of money on the utilities. So, you really don't. So, I'm glad that they found it. I hate that we're having to do it, but I'm really glad that they found it and were able to repair it.
On the front end.
On the front end, correct.
$30,276.85.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Oliver, second by Mr. Edwards, all in favor.
Thank y'all very much. Have a nice evening.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good to see everybody.
You
So,
too.
appreciate the privilege to present tonight. I was just looking at some things. I think it's fitting that I'm here this day because the Shoals Business Incubator Entrepreneurial Centers, our legal name is, we began operations like 34 years ago today, if you go back to incorporation and everything. So it's good to start the new year with City of Florence. It's been so supportive to us throughout the years. I hope you had an opportunity to look through the packet that we provided for you. If you did not read it all to you now, no, not really. I'm gonna just go hit the highlights for you. But, we provided information that relates to our governance, financials, our current operations, and then our strategic vision, strategic plan that we are in the process of implementing this year. Of course, you have our letter of request there for funding in the amount of $100,000. And as I said, the city has been instrumental in our operations for several years now, and we appreciate that. Our board of directors, if you looked at that, we've always had an engaged board of directors, individuals that are involved across the community, and that's no different now, other than we added like 3 new members at our last meeting, and I commented on how much younger they were than they seem to used to, were in the past. But I guess that's a good thing too. But we do have young people that are on our board now that are involved, and they're going to be a new generation of leaders that are stepping forward now. You got questions on anything, you can stop me or get to the end. You can ask questions however you want to do it. It works for me either way. But our financials that we provided are a compilation from 2023. And, they're a good example of what a average year might look like at the Shoals Business Incubator. If you'll notice on the support and revenue, we do have grants and we have appropriations in there, which the city of Florence is a large part of. And one of the things that I always like to point out is the income that you see there, we generate from our services.
Mr. Daniel, what page are you on of that, please?
Okay, I'm
Just so
sorry.
we can all get to that same.
I'm sorry, those pages are not numbered, are they? 2, 3, page 3, got it covered up. Page 3, it's the P&L there on support and revenue. But what I was speaking to were the grants. That grant in the year of '23 actually happens to be work that we did on our Davis complex that we partnered with the Florence Lauderdale Industrial Expansion Committee on, because they actually own the building. And we did an exterior renovation on that building that was sorely needed, and it helped, helped the looks of the entire park there, especially the entrance to the industrial park. But on an average year, 50% or so of our support and revenue comes from services that we charge our clients for, clients that are tenants of our incubator program. And our expenses, they'll generally run below $500,000 in a year. And you know, without the appropriations and contributions, that you know, makes it tough for us to balance each year on our budget. So that's why we are, you know, these are so key to our operations.
How many employees are in the office there? Count yourself.
Three.
Three?
Myself and two others. Mhm.
Are you receiving any appropriations from any other entity? And I ask because in your presentation, you've got CETA, you've got the Chamber, you've got the University of North Alabama.
Mhm.
Who else is providing appropriations at any other, even state or federal level?
On an annual basis, well, for the past 2 years, we've gotten support from the state of Alabama.
In the amount of what?
In the amount total of $400,000. That was 24 budget and 25.
So that is just, it was a two-time appropriation?
Yep,
And you've received total 400, so it was split in half, 200 each year?
that's right.
How did you use that money?
That's right. We use it to support our operations, to support our clients and services that we're delivering now. And if an opportunity comes up for another grant, which I think you saw in there, we've leveraged $10 million for grants over the past 30 years. We can do that. It gives us flexibility. A lot of the grant money that we've gotten through the years from Appalachian Regional Commission or from USDA has to be pinpointed toward a certain project. Like 7 years ago now it was, we got an ARC grant, the Appalachian Regional Commission. It's called a power grant, some power money that they'd appropriated. And, you know, like with that, every nickel, as you know, has to go toward a certain endeavor. And we were the recipient of that and started the Show Shift program from that.
Or that state appropriation of 200,000 annually, is that not renewable for the 26 fiscal year and beyond?
It could be. It could be.
Did you apply for it?
It's something that we work with our state legislative delegation to obtain. And it's not something that's written in stone that we will get each year.
Have you spoke to them about it yet? See if you can get it?
We've had some conversations. It just depends on, you know, some things and how it looks in Montgomery this year.
Yeah.
Things may be a bit tighter.
Well, I guess you never know until you have that conversation with them and see if you get it.
That's correct. That's correct.
So back to that other question. So like the other entities that you mentioned in the presentation, you said founded in 1992 through
Yeah.
a partnership among TVA,
Mhm.
Shoals Chamber of Commerce, Shoals EDA, and UNA. Do you receive any sort of an annual appropriation for them?
Short answer, no. No.
So what's the partnership look like what is that partnership?
Well, we work together. I mean, like I mentioned our Shoals Shift. We work with the Chamber and with UNA on the business competitions and things like that. Yeah, I mean, we have good partnerships, you know, with a lot of people that don't fund us. Yeah.
And do you just work with businesses in Florence?
No,
Do
we're
you-
the Shoals.
So do you also make this request of Muscle Shoals, Tuscovia, and Sheffield, and then the two counties as well?
Yeah, I'm just reading that Muscle Shoals $5,000.
Yeah, we do not, we have our main facilities and our base is in Florence and
In our
in Lauderdale
industrial park.
County. Yeah, so no, we do not get the same support from them.
Have any additional questions for him?
You know, I'd just like to point out, you know, with this impact study that you've received from us, our annual impact with these small businesses that have launched from our facility, which you have some of those brands that are mentioned here, is over $200 million a year. And Those are numbers that were compiled with the Department of Economics at UNA based on aggregate numbers that we provided. That's $200 million a year from small businesses. I read a figure yesterday that now, or at the end of the year, I think there were 32 million businesses classified as small businesses in the United States. 32 million. Yeah. And so.
Where are you seeing your growth right now?
Oh, a lot of it has come from our culinary center. That's one of the things that we're concentrating on now. We opened our commissary for the food trucks like 2 years ago. That's been good for us and for them. We've got 25 different food trucks that we act as a commissary for, and you see them all over the area now. We provide some of the key things that they need. We work with the Lauderdale County Health Department. We're liaison between them to make sure that they're meeting all the rules and regs and keep everybody happy there. But each one of those, I point out, that's a rolling small business. There's jobs on those trucks and in those vans. There's 2 to 3 people working in every one of them. And they're creating sales tax too. So, you know, sometimes that's taken for granted. But we have seen a lot of growth in that area, a lot of demand for those services. And with one more thing I'll add, strategic plan that we just finished at the end of '23, which was funded by us and by SIDC funds. That's some other funding. That's the only monies that we've ever gotten from the SIDC. They paid 2/3 of the study, and we paid the other third out of our budget. But made some key recommendations moving forward, some organizational things that we already knew, but it made a recommendation. One of the strong recommendations is something that we'd often looked at is how can we impact the music or the entertainment industry here. And for the last 6 to 8 months, we've been studying the feasibility on establishing some music hubs or innovation hubs for people who want to start a enterprise around music, a product around music, form a group or whatever it is, with mentorships and some things to see that they're more successful. You can call it an accelerator program, a hub, or whatever. But monies that we're getting this year, that's where some of that'll go. But that's one of our biggest assets, you know. These people that start out doing that, most of them are real innovators and entrepreneurs in their own way. So we're developing a game plan on how to assist that part of the music ecosystem locally. But I'd be glad if any of you want to come out and tour and visit these people that we work with. I mean, they're the backbone of what we do. They're the backbone of this economy, and I could talk for 2 hours. But when you come out and see what they're doing and how we interact with them and the services that we provide with them and impact we have, or talk to Blake, talk to Jackie. I mean, I don't need to be here speaking. They're two of our past clients, past graduate company. They're part of that 300 that I mentioned. So, you know, talk to the people that we work with, any of them. I'll be glad to give you a list. And we appreciate your consideration. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I will say, there have been many businesses that's come out of the Show Entrepreneur Center that have been successful, and it probably would not have gotten started without the help of the Entrepreneur Center, just because they help you with creating the company, as far as filling out license forms and stuff. That, when you first start out, you don't know exactly what all you need. And they were great help with that. Their rent is very reasonable because it's a startup company. Startup company can afford it.
Well, that's one of the key things we do is we take the hassle out of starting a business up front. And our theme is from go to growth. If you're ready to go, we'll help you grow.
Well, and I'll add to that, I started with me in a truck.
Yeah.
And I have 35 employees now,
Yeah.
18 years later, and I've spent about 10 years in the facility out there, and that's why I asked about the growth. I wondered what's changed. But what enabled me to do is instead of investing in bricks and mortar, it gave me the opportunity to invest in equipment, which obviously gave me a much higher return to grow much faster, which created more jobs. So, kind of poster child model for what y'all do out there. And I've always been, I've had a great appreciation for being there the time I was.
Yeah.
Let me ask one last question. I know we're running behind. We did this last time. We got way behind. But how many businesses are alive today that are in Colbert County and Muscle Shoals, particularly? I saw where they give you $5,000 compared to the 100,000 that we do. How many businesses are over there thanks to what you do for them?
The percentage wise?
Well, no, I just wonder, ballpark. Do you know how many are?
The ones that I think I showed there were out of the culinary center. We have more people come from that county that will use our facilities for the commissary or for the culinary center than we do.
I guess what I'm getting at is I'd like to challenge you and to try to get more than $5,000 out of Muscle Shoals, because it seems like we have this conversation with a lot of people about different things. It seems like when it comes, that's Colbert County and Muscle Shoals is doing well, they're doing really well, and I would think they could do more than $5,000.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I won't argue that.
Well, it may just take a little, work on your part to do that. It seems like we're always up here, Florence, Lauderdale County, and that side's always down here on contributions to things, very important things like this. So,
Yeah.
my 2 cents.
I appreciate that. That's why I'm here.
Any additional questions for him? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Price?
Well, I didn't prepare a whole package for you, so I'll just run my mouth here. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Steve Price, and I manage the Shoals Theater. We are a nonprofit theater, and I'm here to ask for a continuance of an advertising contract that we've had with y'all for several years, going back to Mayor Holt, actually, prior to Andrew getting elected here. We're very good stewards of our money. I mean, I'm the only paid employee in the whole shooting match. Trust me, they're good stewards of that too. I don't make much money. So, but anyway, we have movies now, concerts, events, weddings. We do the storytelling festival. The Chamber Awards thing is there this year. So, and tons of plays as well, play productions, and so. A lot of tax dollars come back to the city of Florence through that. We pay hours just like every other business does, and some of the concerts we'll do $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 a night just at the concession stand. When it's a killer act like a Jason Isbell show or something. I think we did 10 grand for one of his one night. But anyway, this money what we've been using this for is upgrades, continuous upgrades. That theater is built in 1948, opened October 21st of 48, and there's always something to do. So I applied for a grant through the Alabama Council of the Arts. It was a 2/3 grant where we put a third match up. Hopefully we'll get that. I've got a good feeling about it. Maybe, who knows, to put a new roof on the building. We've had a perennial leak right on the stage for 2 years now, and we have to make sure there's no electronic keyboard or guitar amp or whatever under that spot, and set pieces have to be strategically placed for the same reason. So we got an $88,000. The low bid was MG Roofing over in Muscle Shoals, so I applied for this grant. Hopefully we can come through with that. But we had voted to, and I've looked into having these doors built and having a really big trouble, a hard time trying to find people that can quote on the doors, to build the doors like they originally were on the theater. It'd be great curb appeal. We've got those tacky shopping center doors on there now, and the seals are so bad between the doors that the United States Postal Service delivers mail through the cracks in the doors. I mean, literally when the doors are locked, they just slide it through. I come in and find them in the floor and so on and so forth. But when Andy came in and looked at the ads in our playbill are all black and white except for the color on the outside, and this is the ad. You can pass it down, let everybody see. That's the Florence ad. We put y'all, because you are the largest advertiser or sponsor contributor. We learned the hard way during COVID that we were really dependent on ticket sales, and when we had nothing coming in, we really found out who our people were, you know, that supported us. We had people that were advertising with the theater, then there was nobody to advertise to, and the doors were closed, and they still came on board with us with money. But that was when I think I approached the mayor, and so we're really dependent on these funds. We've got several big contributors, but the city of Florence is the #1 contributor, and that was simply $10,000. It started out a little heavier than that, to be honest, but it got cut down to that. I mean, we're not going to turn down money in any shape, form, or fashion, but I would really appreciate you guys' help. I mean, we consider ourselves the cultural hub of Northwest Alabama. You know, it's a great theater, wonderful design, but it's 700 seats, so it's a great, nice, intimate theater for concerts and whatever events that you have. So if any of y'all would like to come see me, I'll be glad to give you the $2 tour and not charge you at all.
Steve, I just want to tell you how much I appreciate the work you put in there. You're in my district. All you have to do is drive by and look up at the marquee to know how much is going on there over a period of time. And a lot of the patrons that come there, they eat dinner downtown, they hang out. A lot of them don't live in Florence, so I don't care if you live in Collier County and come over here, I still count that as tourism dollars and sales tax dollars for the city of Florence. So I commend you for what you do. I don't know where this will go. I'll fight hard for you because I know how important it is to my district. And I just want to give you my word on that.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. Yeah, when we moved the Storytelling Festival from UNA to the theater, all the people that came, those people traveled across the country, and you know, they follow all those storytellers wherever they go, and they love that because they can park their car one time, you know, at the theater and walk to eat lunch. You know, it was just a perfect setup for them. So that's just one example of that.
Do you have any pictures of the original doors that were on there, like you were talking about, that might could be rebuilt?
I do. It's not a picture. It's actually a drawing. Robert Stewart was the very first manager of that theater.
Mm-hmm.
He worked for the
Rosenbaum.
For the Rosenbaum. Thanks. I'm brain dead. I'm telling you, I got 2 hours sleep last night. That's another
Because you were
story.
so nervous about this presentation.
Yeah, that's what it was. Stop it. But anyway, he worked for the Rosenbaums, and then he went off to World War II. His job was on an island in the South Pacific showing movies to, you know, the soldiers doing R&R. But he came back, and he was also an artist, and he drew the picture he drew of the theater when it was finished. Actually was on the front page of the Florence Times the day it opened. And so that's the picture I have of it's on our wall behind the counter.
It'd be nice to have those.
Yeah.
If you would, Steve, I want to make sure that I've got it correct. You're requesting $10,000.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's what we have given you for the past?
I'd say, yeah.
Usually 25.
Okay.
I think it would.
21,000 and then 10.
I think one time we did it because of the screen. Weren't you working on the screen? Movie screen?
Yeah. That was, when on the movie screen we got donated, it was the curtains, is what it was, $35,000 for the curtains.
If you do get that picture of the doors, it would be great if you wanted to just email it to maybe the mayor's office, and they could send it to all of us, so you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
And we're also gonna need your financials need to get those to me, and I'll send those to Shana.
Okay,
Anybody that receives appropriations has to have information.
all right, got it. Any other questions, guys?
That's it.
Thank you.
All right,
you.
thank y'all so
Thank you for what you
much.
do. Thank you.
Mary?
Appreciate it.
Go ahead, Craig. Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry, Craig. Paul's married. I know.
Good afternoon. I just have one item I'd like to submit for your approval. Item 11C. The Urban Forestry Department would like to enter into contract with Renegade Fencing to provide all labor and materials needed to construct a security fence around the new maintenance building in the amount of $20,135.
You have any questions for him?
Yeah, sorry, that's pretty straightforward. I don't have anything like that yet, but
All right,
any questions?
there you go. Thank you
Very much.
Hold on, Craig. Hold on. So if y'all will indulge me for a moment, your guys did such, I shouldn't say guys, your crew, because there's probably some female crew members, and I apologize for that. A phenomenal job with Christmas lights this year downtown. We all talked about it, and I just wanted to give you, and if you'll join me, some appreciation, take that back to your people.
And I will say the reason that they came down so early is because it was a lot warmer last week.
You don't have to explain that.
Good move, good move.
Yes. So that decision was made last week. But thank you very much.
Thank you. Mary?
Good afternoon. I have one quick thing also. This is to renew our contract with Method Equipment that provides a lot of different travel, labor, equipment, materials, incidentals, and for the 2025 budget year. The prices went up roughly about 15% from what they were the last time that we received them. Any questions?
So that method helps move our equipment from one location to the next. And
And
this
they-
is our annual contract with them.
Yes, and they do a lot more of that. They move equipment for us, they help us set our big concrete poles with their cranes, they move transformers for us, large and small.
How much
Our
are
equipment.
we talking about here?
There's a price list,
Okay.
and depending on what it is, I mean, it's a large, multiple page price list, but
Okay.
anywhere from, I mean, like a 15-ton carry deck crane is $175 an hour, and the 115-ton crane is $375
That's all right,
an hour.
I just
So,
thought
yeah.
maybe you had a price for this
Yes.
job.
Yes, no, this is just a general
I got you.
professional agreement.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. I also have only one item this afternoon. It's 11E. We discovered an electrical issue at Fire Station 1, and involved with that, it's going to require some new conduit, new wire pull, and a new fixture mounted on the outside of the building. We have a proposal from Irons Electric in the amount of $1,350. And that would include all materials, labor needed to bring this back up to code. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. David?
Good afternoon. Three things today. I'll be fast. First one is the contract with Tatum Oil. We had a leak in the big gasoline tank at Street Department on the top of it. Got that fixed, and that was to come in there and clean up the water out of it. The next two items, but was Ringer garage door. We had some trouble with both doors at Recycle. One got hit. That was to fix it by our friends from one of our neighboring municipalities dropping off Recycle. The other two, the same door later, that just part of it wore out, had to fix that, and then the one on the other end of the building had to rebuild the frame and the rails and all that stuff. So those contracts all worked at the same time. Those doors go up and down a lot, and they're just kind of wore out.
We ready for the snow?
We are ready for the snow, the best we can be. I hope we don't get any.
Well, it looks like we're going to. Will we be updating our Facebook page for, where if we're cleaning streets or Website.
EMA is our lead group on that, and so they have the new Lauderdale County Road thing, where they're gonna advise people of that, and advise everybody to sign up for that through the EMA section, but, the county's ready. I talked to AlDOT, they'll start their pre-treatment on Friday at 5 a.m. in the morning,
Yeah.
and, so we're ready to go.
All right.
Best we can, let's hope we don't get
Thank
any.
you, wonderful purchase and great interview.
Thank you.
Good start. Mr. Batson.
I have a change order for a contract that relates to the work that we've recently done on Pine Street between Mobile and Tom Bigby. And this is a negative change order, so what it comes out to be instead of what they originally thought it would be. The original contract amount was $53,299.50, and it was a deduct of $12,005.02 for a final contract amount of $41,294.48.
I make a motion for the
Yeah,
change of
we
amount.
don't ask questions about that. We're like, thank you so much, this is, you need to make the check out to David today.
Yeah.
We have a motion, so sorry.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Oliver, second by Mr. Griffin, all in favor.
And second item is 2023 street resurfacing program, and the last change order is also negative. So $16,037.53 is being reimbursed. The new contract amount is $277,775,430.13.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Oliver, second by Ms. Eubanks, all in favor. You got any more deductions before you leave?
I wished I did. I've never had two deductions
Well, you can't say that anymore.
in the 35 years I've been here.
Well, thank you.
It's a new year bill, 2025, we're bringing all the money back.
Brian.
Hey, hello everyone. I've got 3 items on here. These are annual budget items and repairs. The first one is to replace 2 doors at the Katie Art Center. These are entrance doors. One of them is to the carriage house. The other is our only handicap accessible entrance that's in the rear of the complex. Both of
Up
them
that
are
ramp back there, Brian? Okay.
and that's in the amount of $2,972 to replace both doors.
Okay.
All right, the next one, this is a resolution to approve contract with J.C. Hammond Sons. This is to install an HVAC unit on the 2nd floor of the South Hall house. And currently there is no heating or cooling on the 2nd floor of that building. We're expanding into that space more and more as we're offering more camps and more programs, stuff that we really want to get done.
I have a couple of questions about that when I read it. Where are you mounting the equipment so as not to add weight on an already old building?
Yeah, it's going to be outside on the ground.
So you're building ductwork?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep, and it will be hidden from sight. It'll be right next to where the existing one is on the west side of the building. Okay. Next one, this is to replace some couple of boards at the Rosenbaum house and some fascia boards and a piece of siding or 2 that are coming off and one has deteriorated pretty badly. They're gonna have to come in and rebuild 2 of the doors. This is gonna be out of cypress wood, which explains a little bit of the cost, but we feel pretty good about working with this company.
Have they done work with us before on the Rosenbaum home?
They have not.
How did they was it just the lower bidder? Do they have experience working on historic home restoration?
They do. So that one was self-explanatory, but the doors at KD, are they going to be style appropriate as well, the replacement doors?
Yes, sir. Those are not, the ones that we're replacing are not historic in any way. They're more functional, and they will be the same style, or roughly the same style that's in there already.
Okay.
I think it would have been different, I thought that too, Jackie, had it been the front doors.
Right,
That would have been a total other
Well, and
price
that's,
tag.
when it said 2 doors, that's what I pictured was those front 2 doors.
Yeah.
So, yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I got a question for you. This is totally off since you're here. I was gonna call you, but I'll just ask you. Have you been over to the Carson House lately to take a look at that?
I'm not.
Please do, but I'll call you tomorrow.
That sounds
It
good.
needs some love.
All right,
Okay,
absolutely.
thank
Yeah,
you.
Thank you.
Tab.
Afternoon, I have 4 items on the agenda. Item 1 is a change order with Magnolia River. This is change order for the amount of $1,500. This has to do with our vent maintenance inspection that we've been performing. We've actually already performed this. We needed it because we do that during the month of December and try to have that completed by the first of the year.
No deduction.
No deduction. This is an addition. I'm sorry, I ended the deduction phase there that Mr. Bill had going, so.
How much was it paying for?
This was $1,500. If you will recall, we entered into a contract with Magnolia River for our new Flow GIS system, and this was just an additional form that we needed to complete that vent maintenance inspection. The second item is for the recommendation for the utility relocation on Rickwood Road in the amount of $1,468,011.65.
We need to go back and do the change order.
Right.
Okay,
So I
sorry.
get a motion?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Griffin, second by Mr. Edwards, all in favor?
Sorry, I apologize. Got ahead of myself. As I was talking, the second one is a recommendation to award to TJ Construction in the amount of $1,468,011.65. This is for the utility relocation, gas and water utility relocation regarding the Rickwood Road project.
The Atria project,
Yes. TJ Construction was the low bidder on that.
and that is funded through a grant, so if anybody is gasping at that price, that is not coming out of the city coffers.
That's correct.
Just so.
Yes, that is correct. Yes, ma'am. Any questions on that? All right, item 3 is a quote for $13,125 from Ecotech. This is for the retrofit of the rapid mix valve at the Cypress Creek Water Treatment Plant. This is just a valve that we have to have. It's pretty critical to where we have the addition of our chemicals in the rapid mix.
And you said a replacement?
Yes.
Thank you.
They're going to this is going to be an updated version, so they're going to retrofit the existing one with a better one, if you will. Any questions on that? And that is, we went ahead and did this pretty extensive lead time. It's 16 to 20 weeks lead time on that particular valve, so it's the reason we went ahead and moved forward with that, where we can have that ready to go as soon as possible. Any questions on that one? All right, the final item that I have is a quote for $29,954.68 from budgeted funds. This is for Duke's root control. This is for the application of a pesticide we can put in certain sections of our sewer line that are hard to access, like maybe in backyards, fences, all the different things obstacles that we encounter. And we can go, this company can come in and they will put this foam, if you will, down our sewer line, and all of the roots, it causes the roots to basically withdraw. It kills the root system. And it's guaranteed for a period of time, and I don't remember the exact period of time. But it's a proprietary chemical. It's called Razo, I can't pronounce it, Razo Rooter. And it's so they go in and they can treat anywhere from a 4-inch to an 18-inch pipe, and it basically bites the roots back and allows us for that pipe to work better. Any cracks, anything that a root can it's invasive. So we've been studying, trying to do this for a long period of time, and we decided it was was a good time to try it. Based on the conversations that we've had with everyone else, it works really, really well.
As the past chair of the tree commission, in our historic districts,
Right.
are you gonna make sure that this is not a chemical that's gonna kill some of our
Yes,
historic trees?
it will not, right, it only affects the immediate area around
Okay.
around the sewer pipe. It's not gonna go for a great distance and.
It's not gonna be like the trees at Auburn where
Right,
it just
correct, no,
kills
sir.
and
it's-
kills and kills and kills.
Right, no, sir,
Okay.
it's not gonna do that. It only works, it's actually, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember correctly from reading the materials, it just works within a certain distance around that pipe. And I
Okay.
wanna say it was 3 to 6 feet or something. It's not very invasive. It only works in that immediate area.
When I read razor rooter, I did not think of foam.
Correct, yes. You don't, with that, I agree, I'm not exactly sure how the name came about, but it is a foam that they actually inject into that system. And of course, we will TV the pipe beforehand, and we will also have TV documents, records afterwards to see how effective it is in doing what it's supposed to do. Any questions on that? All right.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Melissa?
Good afternoon. So there are 4 items on the agenda, 11S through 11B, that are part of our Emergency Solutions Grant Program. Now, this program was founded by the Alabama Department of Environmental and Community Affairs in 1987. So it's about 35 years old, and Florence has been the recipient through a competitive application since that time. These are pass-through funds. They originate with the Department of HUD, which then assigns them to all 50 states, and then the state assigns them to certain municipalities or nonprofit organizations. In order to qualify for these funds, there is an application program that is set up through ADECA. The applicants have to apply through the ADECA site. We then come to you all. That was done in May 21st, in fact. We come to you all to accept that application for both funding and acceptance if we are granted those funds. And then we usually receive them around this time of year. So the 4 applicants were the original applicants. We had a $400,000 application, $350,000 was funded. It was the second highest funded application in the state. And these contracts represent the services that they will perform. Now, the Emergency Solutions Grant is a emergency sheltering grant. There are some street outreach funds typically under this grant, but for these particular grantees or sub-grantees, they will be providing shelter and some outreach for those shelter recipients. Can I answer any questions about the program or the contracts?
Great explanation on how it all starts and ends up.
Sure.
Appreciate that.
Sure, it's, this is a program, again, that the city has had for almost 40 years. I think we're on year 38.
Y'all have any questions for me?
Okay, great, thank you.
Thank you. Mayor?
Just before I get to my item, just to let you know, Mary brought up an issue with Methvin equipment. Just to let you know, Rodney Methvin actually donated his service for the installation of our sculpture. Two vehicles were down there and staff to do that, and he was very grateful for being a part of that. And that, I'm sure that would have been quite expensive, so I was pleased with that. Second thing is, we mentioned the A-trip on Rickwood Road. That process has been going on for a long time. It's the NPO grant.
This is year 9.
Yeah, just so you know, and I just gave this information to Michelle and Jimmy, since it's their district, the TAP grant that we applied for some time ago, the bids are going to be open on the end of January, and that'll offer safety along Elton Drive at about 2,000 feet in front of the high school.
Yes, and to the YMCA.
Okay. The item I've got is 11Y, and I know Lanier Nail is with us tonight. He might want to comment, but about 2 years ago, we transferred the Project Help program to the Shoals Dream Center at the Help Center's request because of some issues they had there. The Help Center was founded a number of years ago, and it's been in operation a long, long time. In fact, Mr. Musgrove's grandfather was on that building and was a part of that initial project. Each year, that Project Help is you get funds from your, you can put $1 or more on your utility bill. In fact, I sent you a text this morning about the program. But they came back to us. Lanier is here and be glad to share. But they are requesting that it come back to them, and they're working closely with Community Action. So if you got questions, Lanier, you want to? So we're talking about $35,000 to $40,000 a year that comes through that program that helps with utilities.
Right. Hello, and I'm not asking for money. I think the mayor explained it well, but if you have any questions, I'll be glad to take them.
This is money that people add to their utility bill that will be going to.
Correct. Well, we will administrate the
Right,
money.
that's what I mean.
And then the money is used to help people with their utility bills. And the only real difference between what's been happening in the past and the way we are going to manage it now is we will not be fielding calls from the public for utility assistance. Community Action already has the administrative apparatus set up. They do a large amount of utility assistance. They have agreed to use the Project Help monies, which will be administered by us, as a backup for their system, so that when somebody falls just short of qualifying for the aid they provide, or when they can't quite provide enough to prevent somebody's utilities from being cut off, they'll refer that person to the Help Center, and we'll use the Project Help monies on a referral basis from Community Action.
What amount do you all allocate towards that? Does it vary, or do you have
It
a sense?
varies based on what the public gives, but right now it's averaging about $3,500 a month.
I think it'd be good if somebody would get the word out. I think a lot of people don't even know that this exists.
I agree. I told the mayor, since we're not taking on the administrative load except to disperse the monies with the referrals, that I'll be glad to keep this in front of our supporting churches and organizations so that people know it exists. I do know I opened up my utility bill and I couldn't find a spot to do it, so I think there are some things that can be cleaned up on that end, and we'll have conversations with Florence Utilities about that.
I think it's a great project.
Yeah.
And
It's just a way to share.
It just gives education out that this program exists.
All the current people who are including that in their bill have received a letter from the utility department.
So my next question, I know you said about $3,500 monthly. How much can one individually get at one time?
There's not a set amount.
Not set, okay.
It depends on their need and what Community Action determines would be helpful to them.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Any additional questions for him? Okay, thank you very
Thank you,
much.
guys.
Mayor, were you done? Billy? Our city attorney?
Good afternoon. I don't know how much of an in-depth discussion you want to have today. The proposed map of the new districts, or the map of the proposed new districts, has been posted in City Hall since before Christmas and on the website since before Christmas, and I think that all of you
The mayor's gonna bring them, yeah.
Okay. I think all of you are somewhat familiar or very familiar with it. I guess I'll just go very briefly over the population distribution. The
You went face the audience.
Face the audience.
The,
Thank you, Dave.
That's good.
the population, from the, the current districts are based on the 2010 census, and we had the 2020 census. And, the current districts based on the 2020 census, have the following populations. District 1 has 6,099. District 2 has 7,088. District 3 has 5,641 people. District 4 has 6,581. District 5 has 6,768. And District 6 has 8,047. Basically, the law is generally that you can't have more than a 10% discrepancy in population between your largest and smallest district, and the way typically that plays out is you take the average population for each district, or for the total population of the city divided by 6, and gives you the average size or the goal size, and then you don't deviate from that more than 5% up or down from the mean. And so the city had NACOG do initially 4 maps to study, and we started from there and arrived at these districts. The biggest changes obviously are in District 3 and District 6, because District 3 was had lost the most people and was smallest, and District 6 was the largest and it gained the most people. And then District 4 had gained people, and District 1 had lost some people. District 4 and 5 were, District 4, the proposed changes to District 4 are nothing. So it stays, in this proposal, it would be identical. District 5 changes very, very little. District 1 and 2 swap population to get District 1 up to size and District 2 down to size. Just briefly, to accomplish this, 726 people were added to District 1 from District 2 primarily, a few from District 5. District 2 lost 617 people, or would if this is approved. District 3 will gain 952 people. District 4 loses and gains no one. District 5 would lose 80 people, and District 6 would lose 1,176 people. And that gets all the districts to within 5% plus or minus of that mean or the average.
How many again did you say District 1 added, or did they lose?
District 1 added 726 people. And District 2 lost 617 people. And all of the people that were moved from District 2 went into District 1, and then several, the people in District 5 that were moved also were moved into District 1 just to clean up some boundary lines that were were inconsistent, or that NACOG felt like that they could be better drawn. So like a little piece of a neighborhood was in District 5, where the entire rest of the subdivision was in District 1. That's just one example of a place where they cleaned it up. So, as far as the population of black people in each district, the proposal would drop the percentage of, and keep in mind, this is total population. This is not registered voters or people of voting age. This is everyone, anybody who was listed in the census. So this would drop the black population in District 1 to 40.5%. And then in District 2, let me look and just see based on where we were last time.
Where did that come from, Billy? It is 40.5 now, and what was it before that?
Before the.
Before the redistrict.
Yes, well, currently, I don't.
Currently, what is it?
Well, based on the, I don't know, based on the
Okay.
current districts, but in 2012, it was 52.23%.
In 2012.
52%.
So 13 years ago.
Right.
In 2012?
Yes, ma'am. And then the percentage of, the black population percentage in District 2 is 15.44%.
Now?
I'm sorry, it would be if, under this proposal. Currently, it is, from the 2012 redistricting, the percentage in District 2 was 14.85. The percentage in District 3 under the new proposal is 20.87. It was 20.38 in 2012. The percentage of black population in District 4 in the proposed districts is 18.16%, and in 2012 it was 14.66%. And then District 5 in the proposal is 9.16%, and in 2012 it was 9.3%. And the black population percentage in District 6 under the proposal is 8.82%, and in the 2012 redistricting, or the districts, it was 7.91%. So, anyway, this is what, working with NACOG, that Bob Leidy and I looked at and thought made the most sense. The districts are already shaped pretty oddly, and that's to deal with population and in the past to create a majority-minority district. And it's become more and more difficult. To this year, it's extraordinarily difficult to do it. So that's how we ended up with this.
What do you propose cause the drop and the change in the?
Oh, I have no, sorry, I have no clue. I don't know.
What do you mean?
Oh, you talking about what caused the percentage drop? That would.
You said you had the 20, the people.
Right, it was because District 1 lost 624 people. The current district lost 624 blacks. Oh, yeah, 624 black people left District 1. And so that greatly affected the percentage. And so.
That doesn't necessarily mean those citizens left Florence.
No, it just means
I just
that
see
in District 1, the total population of Florence remained largely unchanged.
And what I'm seeing right now, just, in 2025, is that people are just living everywhere now. I mean, it's just different than it once was, which to me is a good thing.
That's true. The population has dispersed much more, and it's been happening for 30 years now. But there was a big change this time. But that is, and certainly Bob may be able to answer questions that I can't. But that's just a brief summary of the numbers and the reasons why the proposal is the way it is, with obviously the biggest changes in population, the biggest shifts having to be in District 6 and District 3. Because District 6 was really, really big. It gained the most people, and it was already probably the biggest district, and District 3 lost the most people. Any more questions?
No. I think Andy skip Z.
It's gonna get back to him after.
Okay, I didn't know it was coming back up.
Yeah, I had some circle that.
I'm sorry.
Are you don't have any more
Any more
questions for Ms.
questions?
Musgrove?
All right, thank you all.
Mayor,
What now?
come up and address.
Item Z.
Item Z, please.
On the consent agenda. I don't think you went over that.
Is that the one?
The
about-
parking deck.
About the demolition?
Yes.
I don't have anything to say. It's back.
Well, I mean, okay, I mean, you just didn't mention it was on there, so
No.
I just needed to mention that
It's
it was on
been,
there.
it's been before us before.
Yeah, I just couldn't tell anything about it. Yeah, I can't tell, I couldn't tell.
Would you like to read it? And just so we're clear.
I looked at the maps you sent,
Item Z,
but it doesn't have the
this is a resolution on here to approve a contract with Tomlin Excavating Company Incorporated, Inc. to provide labor, equipment, materials, and incidentals necessary for the demolition of the municipal parking deck located at 116 West Tennessee Street to, and properly dispose of the debris to the City of Florence Mayor's Department in the amount not to exceed $774,260.85. This is sponsored by Mayor Betterton.
And this was on there, we had this originally a few weeks ago,
It was.
and this company extended this. I'm saying this because I want to be sure.
Yeah, this was on here and
They extended this price that they would honor until when?
January 31st.
January 31st, I got you.
we have a request to, since we're talking about it, to remove Z to the regular agenda. So Z will become, on the regular agenda, 12B.
Mr. President, may I?
You may.
Just talk about procedure really briefly. So this is my interpretation of the law. First of all, there is a section in the city code under the council rules and procedures that requires, if something is voted down and brought back up, then someone who voted against it the first time has to be the one that makes the motion to approve it. They don't have to vote for it, but they just have to bring it up. So since this was moved to the regular agenda, one of the four people who voted against it will have to make a motion to approve it.
That is if it receives immediate consideration.
Well, immediate consideration is not necessary because it's already been brought up once.
Oh, okay.
And so it's like a reading, and so even though it was voted down, it's already been introduced once. And so now all that's required is a vote on
And
whether
that'll
to
be a
approve.
yes or no.
Yes, ma'am, that's correct. So that's my interpretation anyway. I don't think it needs immediate consideration. It's kind of an odd situation since it was voted down. And in Robert's Rules of Order, it only requires someone who voted against a resolution. It only has the requirement that the person who voted against it has to bring it back up if it's at the same meeting, but that's not how our city code is written.
So if I make a motion to approve the resolution, one of the four who voted no against it before has to second it, right?
No, sir, one of the four who voted against it the first time will have to make the motion.
The motion.
And then anyone can second it.
I got you.
Yes,
Okay.
sir, yes, sir. So I just wanted to bring that up before.
Okay, thank you for the clarity.
Okay, thank you.
So, but we do have it that Z will move to the regular agenda for B.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, we've got that business taken care of. We'll take, that's all, nothing else. We'll take a 5-minute break and then we'll come right back and start into the meeting.